Hello, hi everybody. It's Sharon here from the blog I Restore Stuff, and we're here with another exciting live today. Just going to refresh the page on my desktop, make sure we're all working well and that you can hear me fine. Guys, it is so humid and hot here in Australia today. Well, where I am in Queensland, it is very much so. Are you excited to be here? Jump in on the comments and let me know. I know that some of you are in the Stencil of the Month Club. Thank you. Just going to put this on mute. Yes, Rebecca's here. Thank you. Just to let me know you're here if you're here. And we can see what I'm about to reveal, but that's okay. All right. So I've got my iced coffee here because it is so hot. Celia, have you got your coffee ready?
I've got my coffee.
She's got her coffee. Guys, in the Stencil of the Month Club that Essential Stencil does, if you have not joined the Stencil of the Month Club or have no clue what I'm talking about, let me just share with you what it's about. Every month you get delivered to you a set of stencils. Yeah, not one, but a set of stencils. Usually there's 3 in the design and they all integrate with each other, and it is super good value every month coming to your house. So it's delivered to you. I'm just going to share this with, if you want to sprinkle the love for anybody who knows about DIY or wants to stencil, I'm just going to share this in our Stencil of the Month Club, because the people in there will want to see what I'm doing today. I actually showed my stencil in the club on Monday, so it arrived at my doorstep on Monday, and I haven't had a lot of time to practice, but today I was just letting you know, if you've just joined me, about the Stencil of the Month Club. You get delivered to you a set of stencils every month, and they're usually kind of either themed to the month. If it's Valentine's, we had January stencil was Valentine's, because a lot of you, obviously, you need to be making those signs and things ahead of time, so we try and keep ahead of those things. And thank you guys so much for sharing. So every month you get that. Now there is an option, so you can opt to do 1 month, 3 months or 6 months to join the Stencil of the Month Club. The link is up there in the description of the live today. The other thing that you can add on, don't miss guys, the add-on. The add-on is only an extra little amount. I think it's like $10 extra for an add-on. And now that's a extremely good value for the stencils that you're getting. They're A3 size, I believe. Is that A3 size? I don't know what you guys probably have a different name for that over there, but 12 by 16 size stencil sets. So there's the 3 sets, and if you purchase the add-on, it's just an extra $10. Correct me if I'm wrong. And if this is your first time watching, please give us a wave, tell us that you're here. I'm just filling you in on the Stencil of the Month Club. So the other thing about the Stencil of the Month Club, not only do you get a set of stencils every month for you to make signs with, put on furniture. My blog is called I Restore Stuff, and I love to paint furniture. And one of the things I love to do is actually stencil bits and pieces on pieces of furniture. It can make a real difference to your piece. You can hop over on my blog at irestorestuff.com and have a look at some of my stencil projects. Not only do you get the stencil set every month, but you get invited or get linked up to join the Facebook group, the Stencil of the Month Club Facebook group, where the ambassadors will actually show you how to use the stencils. You can show each other how you're using the stencils. There is such a great vibe in the Stencil of the Month Club of people showing their ideas. I'm getting some great ideas from some of you guys who are in the Stencil of the Month Club on how to use your stencils and what you're doing with the different designs, because they come with so many different options each month. So if everybody's ready, without further ado, let me show you what I've designed for this month. So each of the ambassadors gets a turn at designing stencils. Grace designed January's, no, was it December's, with the snowman, I believe. And I got to design February. It's actually my 50th birthday in February. And I said, give me February, I want to celebrate all month long. So this month I'm celebrating, and because it's something I do love, it's all about coffee. Guys, here it is. Here's the stencil of the month, And I'll show you the packaging first because I was so excited to actually see my little face up here. And on the back, it will come with the 3 different designs here that all integrate together, and I'll show you those in just a moment. And then you have some examples of how you can use all the different shapes, letters, symbols into the stencil designs. So if you're a coffee lover like me, or if you know people, if those signs are selling well in your marketplace or shop, this is going to be a great one for you. So I'll show you the insides in just a minute, but don't forget there is also an add-on. Make sure you actually have to purchase the add-on separately. The add-on is this, and it's actually I wanted to design something that would mimic the enamel signs that you see around, you know, the black or white background with the black lettering. And so I loved this idea of just putting words that you can either do it with a border, without a border. We can do interchangeable words. Here you can do coffee bar, coffee cups, and I thought it'd be a great thing to pop up above your coffee station. We even have sweet tea here, guys. We didn't miss out on the tea people. You can do hot tea. You could change it up with latte, coffee shop, cafe, all sorts of things. So that's the add-on. Don't get them mixed up. The stencil set I will show you right now, and we'll be working on one of the options today to show you. So let me I've pulled it all out of the packaging to make it a bit easier to show you. And I'll put it on the black background. Yes, just in time for coffee station project. Yes, no worries. Just let me know if you've got any questions. We'll do our best to answer those. So here we go. The main designs, you get a bunch of words, and then you also get shapes. And I wanted a vintage retro theme for the coffee signs. So you'll see shapes like these, which you can then add your words to. So this is a lovely retro ovally kind of oblong-y shape. Is that the word? Now this one here actually turns into a little ribbon that you can add to your stencil. I'll be doing that one today. And there's some swooshes. I'll call them swooshes. You can call them what you like. Then there's these little ones here which you can use to add your amounts. You know, like say you just want to mimic a coffee shop sign and say 50 cents or whatever. So you can use your 5 and your 0. And there's dollar and cent signs here. We also have an AM and PM, so you can go we're open, we're closed, and we're open 7 a.m, you know, all of the things. So it's just so many options in here. I can't wait to see some of you in the Stencil of the Month Club showing me how you're going to use some of these stencils. Now, this design for February will ship on February 1st, but if you sign up to the Stencil of the Month Club today, that's what you will get is the February stencil set. So if you sign up for 3 months, you will get all of the following March's stencil set, April stencil set. Did I say right? February, March, April, yep. And then if you sign up for 6 months, you'll get all of those. So join up today and you will use my code. Don't forget, guys, if you always use I Restore Stuff in the checkout section, when you go to purchase your Stencil of the Month Club, you'll get $5 off your first month for the Stencil of the Month Club. So that is a great deal. So the other thing that we do have down the bottom here is there's coffee beans and 3 different variations of coffee cups or tea. It could be hot cocoa, it could be hot chocolate, whatever you fancy. Hang on, hot cocoa and hot chocolate, same thing, right? Mm-hmm. And we've got some arrows up here, variations of arrows. Now like I said, there's 3 of these 12 by 16s in the design that they all ship to you. Thank you guys for my early happy birthday messages. Yes, it's a big number. I don't know how to feel about that, but I've heard it's fun. Right, Celia?
Yeah, absolutely.
She says. She just had hers recently too, so there you go. Happy birthday to Celia for last year.
Oh yeah, thanks. I'll get you for next year.
Yeah, she'll get me. And so there's these ones as well. So I love these retro shapes that you can use this way, you can use them this way, and I love this idea. Now, one of the ideas I had for this was that you could do, what do you call that? variegated shading,
Ombre.
kind of a look, with starting with a dark colour, ending up a light colour in this stencil idea. So we'll be showing you some of those stencils in the month of February and some ideas with those. So let's get started on that one today. Again, I'll show you up here we have, and if you join the Stencil of the Month Club, they've just added today even more ideas than what you see on here of how to use this stencil set. So that is something fun to look forward to, don't forget. So we're going to kind of do this little number here today, and hopefully I'll get onto a second one. So I'll show you that shape actually. I just did one before. This is Midnight Blue, and I added this shape here, this kind of retro shape. So don't you love the way that that kind of stands out and makes a cool looking background? I've just gotten water on it. That's okay, guys. Now, I'm wondering if we've got 2 mistakes on here already, guys. Now, if you have followed any of us ambassadors for any length of time, who can tell me the number 1 rule in stenciling? That Sharon just got a little bit excited this morning, was in a rush, and didn't do very well. Okay, I'll give you a closer look. What's our number 1 rule? Oh, and let me see if I can see. Oops, our comments are flying, guys. Offload. You've said it. That's it. Angela says offload, offload. Exactly. And I didn't offload my brush just enough because, okay, I've got an excuse, all right? I saw this massive section here. I thought, guys, I've just got to leave all the paint on the brush and just go ahead in this section, not thinking, little brain moment there. And I came over here to these little thin lines and I just whooshed it. I'm like, I know I had too much paint on your brush. You kind of know when it's done, but I waited till, and so then I'm offloading all in the center here, and I did the rest of mine, and the rest of it's quite neat. Now the second mistake is that I didn't put enough painter's tape. So you'll see on the design here, there is some other stencil designs because we want to fit so much onto the stencil set for your benefit. There's a few that are kind of close to this one. So what you do is you just put your painter's tape over the top of those ones. And I didn't put painter's tape far enough over, and you may be able to see it, you may not, but I'll fix that later. I'll show you how to fix mistakes later on this board if you like. So there's a little mistake there. I've just got a little bit too much blue. I can either paint over that, try sand it, something like that. So this offload section here, where I didn't offload, I've got too much and it's bled through underneath the stencil. So if I get time in a minute, I will show you how to fix those and correct those mistakes when you make them. They'll happen. Okay, and the other thing is just to be super careful with any of our stencils, just be super careful of these. This is a really thin line right here, and we've got little bridges. These are bridges. Just be really careful when you're cleaning these. Sometimes I like to clean across the bridge this way instead of going up and down so that you're not going to break those little bridges. So just be really careful when you're doing that. And if you offload your brush, you won't have too much trouble keeping that all nice for a very long time. Yes, Deb says, I'm not a coffee drinker, but there are still lots of possibilities with this. Totally. Deb, do you drink tea? Anything. But even not for yourself. Think of gift ideas for other people using the coffee designs. Excuse me while I have a sip of my iced coffee.
Renee says she says a vintage travel trailer shape in that
Ooh,
stencil.
yeah.
What a great idea.
Yes,
caravan.
great idea. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so I was going to try and copy. Now here's what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to copy this top one here and show you how we can add the ribbon to the stencil design. Now they've done white on black. I've got kind of an off-white colour here. Now I'm just using Fusion Mineral Paints today, which is a brand that I sell here in Australia. So if you're from Australia, you can find the Fusion Mineral Paint on my website at irestorestuff.com. But I don't actually have a supply list for you today. You can find your local Fusion retailer by just looking up fusionmineralpaint.com, and they have a list of people there, retailers there that you can find them from. The first thing that I'm going to do is put this design on the back right here. So because you want to use contrasting colours, so because, I think I'm going this way. I'm just going to eyeball that. I tend to do that a little bit. We'll put a little bit of painter's tape on either side, just to approximately the centre. Well, you do want to get it in the centre. Guys, I have a ruler on standby. It's on standby if I need it. Excuse me. So you want to use contrasting colours. So I'm going to be using coal black. And I think I used this on a brush, yep, right here. So what I do is I put my brushes, if I'm going to be using them again, I just used this one this morning. So I just pop it in a little plastic bag and then the paint doesn't dry out. And because if I had washed this out, it would probably have too much water on the brush to be able to stencil. You want to have very little, a dry brush, so that it will turn out nicely. And now here's my trusty newspaper that I'm going to use to offload my paintbrush onto.
Is fusion paint like chalk paint?
Someone's asked, is fusion paint like chalk paint? It's similar. It's got a matte finish, but with chalk paint you usually need to add a sealer or a top coat, whereas fusion's got a built-in top coat, so it still gives you that matte finish like mimics chalk paint, but without the need to add on a wax or a sealer. Okay, I've dipped my brush just in a little paint that was actually in the lid, offloaded it here. Did we have many people here for the first time? And yes, everyone's saying offload, offload. Yes, that's the tip. So don't forget, guys, in our lives we give away stencils. So at the end, we're going to be picking 3 winners. See how I'm just offloading my brush there? I did add a little bit more. I just want to work that into the bristles. And if you've joined for the first time, this is my fun hack that I use on my furniture painting brush with the long bristles. I add a rubber band to just make the bristles a bit shorter. Now, the Stencil of the Month Club, the Essential Stencil does have stencil brushes for sale, but they are out of stock at the moment. They are coming back. I've heard everyone's been asking. Theirs are coming back on the 15th of February, which is my birthday. So that's how I remembered it. All right, we've offloaded, and I'm just going to do a little twirly-whirly motion. With the lines, you can go backwards and forwards. Hopefully you're getting that there. Do we need to tip down a bit more so we can get like a bit of a bird's eye view? Just a little bit of a twirly motion there. Or you can, with the stripes, you can go backwards and forwards, but still I like to just sort of, you're pushing the bristles into the painted surface. So I just dipped again, offloaded again, whoop, a little bit more. The absolute key is just to having less on your brush. You can always add more paint, like do another coat. Once that dries, you can go back and add more on, but it is super hard to get it off once it's on there. Kind of the reverse of a haircut, right? You know, you tell the hairdresser, just take this much off. Well, if she just takes a little bit off, she can always take off more if you're not happy. But once she's taken off a whole chunk, there ain't no going back, sister friend. All right. Where's my coffee people out here?
We've got 2 new people, Linda and Ingrid.
Oh, welcome, guys. I hope you enjoy that. Oh, we've got thunder and lightning happening here now, which is hopefully going to bring about a cool breeze for us here. We're sweltering here in Queensland. I've got my iced coffee here beside me. If you've just joined us, we are showcasing Essential Stencils Stencil of the Month Club stencil for February, which I happened to design, which I was so excited and so honoured to be asked to do as one of their ambassadors. So each of the ambassadors will get to design a stencil for the Stencil of the Month Club. Super exciting. And you guys get to get in on the February design. If you join today and use the code I Restore Stuff, you'll get $5 off your first month. Yeah, it's hard to kind of zoom in and out, isn't it? Just adding a little bit more each time.
At least 3 people will have the same birthday as you.
Wow. Yeah, my husband makes a point that it's easy for him to remember because it's the day after Valentine's Day. And he said he thinks that God did that on purpose so he'd remember it. And he also get and he also gets the bonus of leftover flowers from Valentine's Day. He gets the cheap flowers at the end of Valentine's Day.
Awesome.
Oh, that's funny.
One lovely person, Alex, said her daughter just asked if we could go to your birthday.
Oh,
It's like, no, everybody has a birthday, but not a party.
that's funny. Oh, that's so
People
cute.
would have heard me, but yeah.
Yep. Kelly says, if you're not a part of the Stencil of the Month Club, you really should join. Make sure to sign up for the add-ons too. Yep, you get those extra stencils. It's really worth it, isn't it, Karen? Yeah, thank you so much for saying that. It is. It's great. Build your stencil collection, especially if you're someone who's doing selling stenciled signs or signs at markets. That's such a quick and easy way to make your signs. Okay, so I'm just going to lift that up really carefully there. I don't know if that's a dot or if it's, oh yep, it is. It's a little, I think I had a drip of water on the stencil itself, probably from my iced coffee over there. So there's the little background that's going to form a part of the background for our stencil. Now to clean that, you can wipe it off right away with some warm soapy water. I know someone's going to ask how you clean your stencils. I don't do that very well, but when I can, I do. It's all right, we can do that later. And, oops, I'll just pop that aside for now. So our second part for our stencil, if you've just joined, I'm just copying off this one here from our Stencil of the Month Club for February. Those will start shipping. If you join today, they'll start shipping February the 1st. And by the way, if you do want to get any of the extra stencils in the Stencil of the Month Club, and you are a member of the club, you can go to, they do have a shop at the stencilofthemonthclub.com, and you can get any extras there or add-ons that you might have missed that you've gone, oh wow, I'd really like that add-on. Now, this is going to be tricky, so watch carefully. I've got this little box here is going to form a part of the ribbon that goes right across, but I need to know how long the words are that I'm going to put there, so I have to measure and estimate that first. If you could pass me a pencil, Celia, somewhere. I think there's one over there. Oh, the rain's getting heavy. I'm not sure if you can hear that. Thank you. So if
Marty and Bucky are going to have their...
I know, they need to stop being so busy so we can get Marty and Bucky on. Someone's asked about Marty and Bucky's stencil off. It is going to happen, guys. We're going to make sure of it. But it's been so busy with Christmas and all of the things. We'll get together with Melissa and sort that out. So if you like, you could put coffee shop along there. If I was using coffee shop, I'd have to get this box here, and we do half at a time. So you'd measure where it's going to come from and then where it's going to go up to, and you just add it along there. I've decided I'm just going to use the word coffee for this one. So I still will have to make my box a little bit longer and make it go, now you could make it go, oh, maybe I'll make it go outside the sign. So if I sort of measure, yep, if I go outside the sign, I know that it's going to fit the word coffee on there. Not sure if you're following me so far, but hey, that's the good thing about replays. You can always go back and watch them again. So I'm moving it down slightly. Actually, I don't know if I'll have to, I know that coffee fits in here. Yes, it's very loud in my ears right now. I think it's cooling down. All right, so I'm hoping that I've got this straight. All right, 4 centimetres there. Sorry, I'm working in centimetres because that's what I know, guys. We're in Australia. All right, I'm going to put a little cross here on my corner. See if it'll work out on this black. Then I'm going to move it along, because this is the box I'm working with. I want this box to go all the way along. Actually, I'll do it here as well. That'll help me with my lining up. Making sure you, let me know if you can, if you're following. So here's a line here. So we're going to stretch the box. You can make this box as long or as short as you need according to the words that you want to put in it. So I'm going to make sure it goes outside of this part that much. It's all making sense so far?
It is.
So I can see my markings here where I need to go from, and it's going to go out about there. Again, just eyeballing it, hoping for the best, but really if you want to get picky, see that's 8 millimetres there. Oh, look, my eyes aren't too far off, guys. And, oops, where's the thing? 4 centimetres. Oh, looks like I'm crooked. 4 centimetres to the edge of there. You know what? The board could be, let's blame the board. The board could be crooked too, guys. I'm just saying. It's a off-cut. I can see that this end's, you know, it's one of those pallet board sign things. No, pallet boards. Okay, so I've drawn out where I need it to be. Oops, put my stencil down. And now I need to get my black paint to make my ribbon that's going to go across. I will tape off some things because I know that circle is going to be in the way. This will help me also to hold my stencil down well. And I'm only going to this part here, and then we're going to move it across. Oops, I didn't get it long enough. Let me get it a longer bit. The sound of rain is so welcome here, I tell you. All right, once again, dipping, rubbing to offload the brush, as long as you can hear my voice above the rain. Oh, hello guys. Thank you so much for jumping on and telling us where you're from. I'd love to know where everyone's coming from. So we are going over the top of that black there, as you can tell. And you'll be able to see it a little bit through there. Now, you can make this as solid or as opaque. Is that solid? As solid or as see-through as you would like. It just means that you may have to go back over the top of your stencil. Now, I didn't offload this time. Watch, I'm dipping because I've got a huge space here. I'm going to do a lot of my offloading and painting all in the middle section, but do not go near the edges if your brush has still got a lot of paint on it. And I'm going to work out to the edges so that by the time I get to the edges, the brush has all offloaded. So don't forget to offload.
You are loud and clear.
Excellent.
Hi California, hi Canada, hi
Hey everybody,
London,
Canada.
Oklahoma, Vermont.
London? Someone's here from London?
New London.
New London. Okay, so that's in the States. Oh, no, yes. London, Ontario, maybe? Sorry, my North American geography is not the best.
Joe Truman, loud and clear. North Queensland is sultry and rainy.
Yes, who's in North Queensland?
Her name is Joe Truman.
Oh, Joe. Hi, Joe. Thanks for joining. Yep, it's going to be stinking hot up there. Just saying. All right.
Good question.
Yes?
Do you offload a lighter coloured paint onto newspaper too?
Yes. Any of the colours that I want to do, you need to offload them in order to not get that bleeding underneath the stencil, because if you have too much on your brush of any colour, whatever the colour is, it's going to offload. It's, oops, sorry, I just noticed it's doing something weird there. Yeah, it'll go underneath the stencil if you have too much on your brush. All right, so I've done that one little section. Now I'm going to move my ribbon carefully. Trying to keep my blue tape in place as well. So we're making the background to the words. So see how I've got it now half done? I need to move it right across. You can play with these, experiment with these. Now, one of the best ways to experiment with your stencils before you put them on an actual sign, I mean, these signboards, it really doesn't matter, seriously, because they're just cheap offcuts of wood. It's not totally valuable wood, as in like I went out and purchased it or anything. So, but the best idea is to use a piece of paper or cardboard from an old box, a cardboard box, and just try out your stencil ideas before you put them on your signs, and then you figure them all out and you go, wow, I liked those colours together, or I liked that design with that. If you like to mix your stencil sets up a bit, Essential Stencil has so many different stencils that you can mix up. Now, I should have blended that middle section a little bit better. any more questions, let us know. Don't forget, we're going to be choosing some winners at the end of our live to receive some Essential Stencils. And that's awesome. And if you want to join the Stencil of the Month Club to get the February design, this one I'm showing you now, then it's the stencilofthemonthclub.com, and Essential Stencil has probably put those up and in the comments, but I've got it in the description of the live there. So this is the background of our ribbon. Now, if I wasn't live right now, I would go back and do a second coat on that. I may just do that in a minute while that's drying, actually. I might do a second coat on that because you can see the line in the middle. So we'll do another coat on that, and then I'll show you how, actually I can show you how we do the ribbon, because that's fairly dry. Oh, it's a rainy day. That's not. I'll just let that dry with the fan. You can just hold that right there with the fan, Celia, thank you. What I wanted to show you, so this is one, if you've just joined us, this is another one of the shapes that come with the Stencil of the Month Club. It's this retro one up the top here. I've used a colour Midnight Blue Infusion Mineral Paint on the back, and I've used colour called Heirloom on the big shape there. Now, I was pointing out at the beginning, I've actually made a mistake here and I didn't offload my brush properly, and which made that bleed through. So this is what happens if you do not offload properly. You'll get a little bit of bleed through under here. So that is kind of a bit messy looking. I wanted to show you one way that I use to fix that, and that is to just get a tiny piece of, a little bit of sandpaper, fold it in half, and this is going to be your line that you're going to just rub along here and join in. So I don't know if you can get it any zooming in. And so what I'm going to do is just rub along that little line so that I can see more of that navy blue coming through, and it'll take away a little bit of that. I did start to do it up here, so it has worked pretty well.
People are asking if we still have fires around.
Yeah, have you seen the news lately, Celia? I'm not sure. I think there are still fires burning in New South Wales and Victoria. They have had a bit of rain, which has been a blessing, but there are, you know, there's such a big clean-up after that for these people. It's devastating. So yeah, I do believe there are still fires around
Queensland's probably out.
different places. Yeah. All right. So you can see how that is just a real simple, easy way to fix it. But who knows that this is more tedious than actually getting it right the first time. So do offload, guys. And you'll see there's a little bit of bumpiness out to the side here, where you can just get the very edge of your sandpaper. Oops. Oh, it's so sticky. My arm's sticking to everything. And just go on the edge there and hope for the best. And just make a nice straighter line on the edge. You could also just get your dark blue colour that I've used on the base and just paint the line back in. So that's how we can clean up that. There's also this little bit of mess that I did down here, and that's not coming out properly with sandpaper. So what I would do is just get a little bit of Midnight Blue from my little thing here, and I just have to dip my finger right there. Oh, but I do need a rag, probably to wipe my finger. And this is a great tip for fixing little like surface scratches on your furniture. Just use your finger instead of getting a paintbrush out, because it actually blends better with the rest of the colour. So use the exact colour. Thank you. And I'll just dip in here. Yeah, use the exact colour and just dip a little bit on your finger and it smooths right out. There you go. So that's how to fix that little bit there. I'll go on with our ribbon on our other one, and I'll show you how to add the ribbon edges on. Says me, who's never done this before. Haven't done the ribbon. Okay, so I was doing it upside down for you guys, so I need to show you that. So see how you can still see that definite line in there. What I could have done is just blended it a little bit better. And maybe not finish up to the line, but finish a little bit before the line. I don't want to stick that too far down. But I just want to get a better coverage because we want it to look nice and solid, this black. Yeah, that's looking a whole lot better now. So what do you guys think? Where would you use this in your house? Does anyone have a coffee station, one of those pod machines or an espresso machine that you would use this in your own house? Or do you have family and friends who would love this for a gift? Whose special sweet Valentine might like coffee and like a coffee sign? Here's an idea. Yep, that's looking so much better now that I've covered it properly. And I'll just lift that lightly. Because the paint I've used as, you know, I've offloaded a lot, the paint is really quick to dry then. There we go. Now guys, I wanted to also mention that, did you see the Valentine stencils that Essential Stencil has on their Essential Stencil website? So don't forget, if you want to order any of their regular stencils from Essential Stencil, use my code IRestoreStuff and you'll get 10% off. And I want to show you, so those, if you haven't seen them already, you'll probably see them on the page here somewhere. But there's some really cute Valentine stencils available in the Essential Stencil shop online. So get your Valentine's signs made or cards, because one of a couple of the stencils are gift taggy ones, which look great. Does anyone have those? I'm just kind of yes, I'm loving the sound of that rain. Okay, so taking that off, you can see now that that's covered a whole lot better. Looks a lot darker. Just let me quickly show you some of the Essential Stencils, Valentine's stencils. Did you get these, guys? Yet? Yes, and there's gift tags with a whole bunch of fun little tiny gift tag ideas with the XXOO. I think Amanda showed these on her live yesterday, so if you want to see some lives doing that, they're a really fun pack for Valentine's. So don't forget any of those. If you want to go onto the Essential Stencil site, use my code IRestoreStuff and get 10% off. All right, so we've done that part. Now here's the tricky, well, might be tricky, might not. Hey, might be really easy. Just removing this little bit of sticky here. Now our ribbon, you can see on this, it sits slightly above. Now they've done white on black. I'm doing black on white. Now I want to get rid of some of these things. Where's the black piece of paper so I can show you what I'm doing? I'm using this stencil right here. See this one? What do you call it? The ribbon. So what I want to do is make sure that the ones next to it are covered. For example, this arrow. Make sure that's covered up. I'm going to make sure this part here is covered up. And then I'll grab this one from here. And I want to cover up this section here. Probably could cover up this as well, just in case. So you want to cover up all the stencils around it if you're only using that one bit. So that was a bit easier to see on the black background. Then we're going to add this. So we're going to add this corner here to the top corner of our box. And you can leave a little gap to give it that kind of 3D looking thing. Look like it's a little stenciled block. And it's just going to sit right there. And if I press down these other bits of tape, it should stick well. Okay, offloading again. And again, I might have to do a couple of coats of this.
Why are you going around the edges first and not the middle?
I don't know. It just felt like it. Was that a question or are you asking me, Celia?
Me.
Because I've offloaded, so when I offload I can just go straight to there. Okay, so it'll all make sense when I'm finished. Don't forget we've got prizes to give away today. 3 lucky winners at the end of our live will get an Essential Stencil sent to them. Okay, that's the first coat. Yep.
Bicycle that was done last night by Melissa. Very popular.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. All right, so here we go. Now, I didn't leave as much as a gap as I thought was going to be there. It's a little bit off, but that's okay. So I'm not sure if I want that gap or if you could probably just leave it straight together. So I've gone a little bit crooked here, but hey, it's all good. It was my first time, guys. It was my first time.
And nobody's going to notice except for us.
Okay, see what I did here? I'm turning this upside down to do the other side, right? And I don't want to take my tape all off, so I'm just going to see what happens if I just leave it there. So I'm going to put this here. It's not going to stick down, so I'm going to have to use my hands to hold it. See if I can get that any better, that edging there. So because I want to do 2 coats, I'm going to let this one dry. We'll do this one while I'm waiting. Oh, yes. Still got a lot on the brush, and I haven't even reloaded. Yeah. So there we go. I'll do my edges first, and then I might be able to come back and do, because I haven't got much on the brush, good idea to do edges when there's not a lot on the brush. Come back and add a bit more in the centre. Yep, so it's better to have a couple of thin coats rather than put a whole bunch on and then have that bleeding under. So just remember that. All right, so that worked out a tiny bit better. So we've got the ribbon kind of look happening here. So while that's drying, I just wanted to get you the idea of the words on there. So I do have, excuse me, I'm going to do the words in white. So let's just grab our white and our words. And remember, I was just going to do the word coffee in the centre of that black there. But again, depending on how long you want yours to be, you can put coffee shop, cafe menu, coffee menu, menu shop? No, probably wouldn't work. But so you just want to see about the centre of that there. Don't forget we've got to take off these words because we don't want that to come across or accidentally go on there. I'm just going to grab another brush for the white. Yeah.
Need more leather band?
Yeah, I've got one here somewhere. Now, the white, painting white over black or a really dark colour, you will usually need a couple of coats to get that nice sharp look.
Just to remind people, it's Fusion Paint. It has its own top coat and
Fusion Mineral
base.
Paint is a furniture paint, so I just use it because I sell it here in Australia. If you're in Australia, you can get it from my website at irestorestuff.com, or you can look up, if you're in the States, your local retailer from, or in Canada, actually it's made in Canada. FusionMineralPaint.com will have the retailers on there. Okay, so I'm just going to place that. Have I got it in the centre? I'm just using the words coffee. It is hard to tell. I'm eyeballing it. All right, going to go for it. So hopefully that's dry enough there. Really, idealistically, you would wait for this to completely dry, but I'm just going to go ahead. At this stage, it's going to kind of look a bit chalky because we're doing a coat of white over black, and almost always you're going to need a couple of coats of that. But you might like that chalky look, which could just look like you've, put it on a chalkboard with some chalk. Just doing little swirling motions. That's how I like to avoid getting that bleeding underneath. It's just wriggling the brush. I'm not swirling it and painting it under the edges. It's just kind of wriggling the brush onto the surface. I've done 3 letters there and haven't really needed to upload again, reload. Once again, offloading the brush and just doing little wriggle motions. Key, once again, because we're going white on a dark surface.
Bill wants
Yes.
to know who's doing the next month's stencil.
I'm really not sure.
It's not even
I
next
can't
month.
remember.
Okay.
Yeah, because we've only just got this one. It could be Essential Stencil next month. They do a lot of the designs themselves, but so our ambassador designs are kind of spread out, I think, throughout the year. I think Melissa might have April. So March, I'm not sure. It could be an Essential Stencil design. Could be like an Easter theme. Who knows? I'm wondering. All right, so there's my word, coffee. Remember that this is going to need a couple of coats, so I will go back over, and it's super easy to just, go back over by just placing it exactly where it needs to be and doing another coat. So there's the word coffee. Excuse my little arrows here. I feel like I've rushed that a little bit for you, but we do want to get those ribbons to be nice and dark across there. And then I could just do, the other thing I can do is use my black paint again here and just put fresh brewed. It's tiny. I know, I could probably put in a coffee cup, some coffee beans down on the edge here. What about a coffee cup down here? Some coffee beans, I think, is the go. Beforehand, Sharon. That's what I'm thinking. Would have been a smart idea. Another piece of tape. Thank you, Celia. You're doing a great job.
Getting distracted.
There you
Ideas.
go. It's great. You're reading all the comments for me, which is amazing. Any questions, let us know. I'm trying to read them. Celia's trying to read them, but they are going sort of fast. So I'm using the black paint again.
Put the word diner in there instead of coffee.
What? Diner. Oh, yeah, you could. Okay, I'm just going to use this little coffee stencil here to show you how that might look in the corner. There's so many different options. I can't wait to try a whole bunch of them.
Somebody's already got a list of 13 ideas.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and if you can sort of plan it out on a piece of paper about, I'll put this one on top of that one, and this would go here, and this shape would look great next to this.
And label the colours.
Yes, great idea. So there's a little coffee cup, and I'll put some little coffee beans down here. How about that?
I love.
Oh, you know what I do want? I think I'm going to add, so you know this little guy here, I think this would be perfect. This little thing, and I'll do a little 50 cents or 5 cents for a cup of coffee or something like that. How about it? So many different fun ideas. So don't forget, this is only available through the Stencil of the Month Club, and it's the one that will ship for February, and starting February 1st, they will start shipping that out. So if you're already in the club, you will get this one sometime the first week of February. And the links to join are just up there. It's such great value, guys. Every month you get a set of stencils, not just one, a set of stencils. And don't forget that a lot of people are saying, oh, I wish I'd bought the add-on. Let me remind you what the add-on is for this one. So this is the 3-part stencil set, but if you purchase the add-on, it is this one here, where it's like the enamel signs. I wanted to design it so that it kind of mimicked those enamel signs. Let me show you one I did this morning before jumping on here live. There you go. There's an example. So see that coffee station? You can interchange all of the words to make it say stuff. We've got sweet tea down there. So this is just the add-on. So don't forget, if you want that, add it on. You need to go to the stencilofthemonthclub.com and find out. And if you're already a part of the Stencil of the Month Club and you didn't order the add-ons, but you do want this one, it will be available in the Stencil of the Month Club shop for you to purchase separately. And there will be, if you're a part of the club, there will be free shipping up until the 24th for that add-on, so that you don't have to pay extra for your Stencil of the Month Club. I think I got that right. Okay, so I've got this little shape down here, and then I can use my white to put some numbers on there. Oh, so many different options, guys. It's so exciting. I'm so excited to be able to do this and provide this option. Where's my white brush gone, Celia? Oh, there it is. Found it. How much should it be? It's 50 cents. 50 because Sharon's turning 50. How about that? 5? Will it fit? Maybe we'll do 5 cents, guys, because I don't think 50 is going to fit. Shame.
Aww.
Never mind. Okay. How are we going? Any questions?
No,
We're
they're
all
all
good?
just really happy with great ideas.
Yes, there are so many things you could make. Does anyone have any extra ideas? Okay,
Hot
5.
chocolate.
I'm just going to be really careful. I haven't taped the sides of this, but I'm just going to be super careful. See if I can get that 5 in there. Yes, 5. And then my scents.
It'll be right.
Winging it.
We do have hot chocolate. Isn't there chocolate on there somewhere?
No, not chocolate.
Oh, cocoa?
No, I don't think there is. We could only fit so many words on. So you could use those letters and see if you could make the word
Yep, that's it.
cocoa out of the letters that are there. Has anyone done that yet? There we go. See, 5 cents. How cute is that? So what I'll do to finish this one is go over this with a second coat because I want this nice solid colour. And I think I'll go over that coffee with a second coat to give that a nice colour. So we're kind of running out of time, but we will. I just wanted to also show you, so there are so many different ideas. So for example, this one here, you could do cafe, open, closed, so many fun words that you can add on here. And we'll be showing some of these in the Stencil of the Month Club. If you join, you get to be a part of their private Facebook group. And and there's so much fun in that group, sharing ideas with each other. So guys, Celia, I must ask you, are you helping me pick some names today for winners?
Yes.
So you'll get to see this one a little later. I might show something on this one in the Stencil of the Month Club. So if you join, that'll be for you. Don't forget that, are we up here? Are we on here? Sorry. Hey, I just wanted to talk to you. Thank you so much. Just so to recap, while Celia's picking out some names for us for winners for today, if you've got any more questions, please comment below. Share this with a friend if you think they would like to join the Stencil of the Month Club. Join a friend. How about that for a gift idea, hey? So the idea is that you go to stencilofthemonthclub.com. Make sure you put in my code IRestoreStuff and you'll get $5 off your first month. And if you do want this design, if you order today the Stencil of the Month Club, you will get this design and it will start shipping February the 1st. So if there was anything else in the Stencil of the Month Club that you needed, they do have a shop there if you're a member, members only club. And also don't forget the Valentine's extra special stencils that are now available at essentialstencil.com and use my iRestoreStuff code there for 10% off your whole order. So do that today. There'll be links. There's a link up in the description for those as well. All right. So we have some winners.
Today's winners are Sharon Hernan.
Shireen Hernan. Woohoo! Hey Shireen. Thank you so much for watching. You get a stencil.
Sonia Terraby Mawson.
Sonia, you're a winner. Terraby Mawson.
Yep. Kip Morrison Berwick.
Kip Morrison Berwick. So we've got 3 winners today. So those winners, if you're still here or if you're not, we'll tag you. What you need to do is just email support@essentialstencil.com and email them your details, where to ship your stencil to, and you guys will be getting something from them in the mail. So that is exciting. Thank you to everybody watching today. And I'm so super excited to be able to bring you my own design for the Stencil of the Month Club for February, my birthday month. Woohoo! And yep, I will see you next week for another live, and who knows what I'll be doing then. It'll be exciting, that's for sure. Don't forget to catch the other ambassadors as they're live every day of the week. Just check the schedule on the Essential Stencil page. You'll find me at iRestoreStuff on all the social medias and on my blog iRestoreStuff.com. I'd love to see you there. Thank you for watching. Bye.